Hi, my name is Liz and I teach French and Spanish. I'm here to tell you a little bit about the course, which is a fabulous A-level course to study. In French, our classes are conducted in the language, so I encourage students to speak in French as much as possible, and we study a range of topics. Starting with les changements dans la société française, which is about family, education, the world of work and the changes in those areas. And then we move on to media, festivals, traditions, customs in France. Everything we study is rooted in France and la francophonie, that's French-speaking countries. And we then move into, towards the end of the first year, we move into studying a film called La Haine, which is a fabulous, very contemporary film made in 1995, but very important today, because it talks about racial tensions in the banlieue, which is the suburbs of Paris. And in fact, we're going to see the film tonight with my students, because it's showing at the local cinema, which is a fantastic opportunity for us to see it on a big screen. We also study a piece of literature called Nous et Moi, which is about a couple of young women who meet each other from very different backgrounds. One is homeless, one lives in Paris, and they become friends, and it's a story about their friendship and what happens to both of them at the end of the story. So we read a piece of literature, we study a film, and by studying a film and a piece of literature, you then I prepare you for writing essays about those, the film and the piece of literature. So it's very varied. In the second year, we move into talking about the impact of immigration in France, the challenges and the enriching experience that immigrants have brought to France. And then we move into a historical side of France, which is the occupation of France by the Nazis between 1940 and 1944. The way you're assessed in the language is that you've got, just like GCSE, you've got 4 skills. So you're assessed in your listening, your reading, your speaking and your writing. There are 3 exams. Paper 1, which is listening, reading, translation into English. Paper 2, which is 2 essays, one on the film, La Haine, and one on Nous et Moi, the novel. And you have to write an essay on both of those. And then you get a translation that you've got to translate into French, which is the harder element of it. But by the time you get to doing the exams, you will be so good that it will be not straightforward necessarily, but it will be something that you can do and that you're used to doing, because we will practice those skills over the 2 years. The paper 3 is the speaking, where you have to speak about a topic that you've researched. We present it, we discuss it, but also we discuss the topics that we've done throughout the 2 years. And that's about 18 minutes long, and it gives you the opportunity to express everything that you've really done over the last couple of years. To get onto the course, we would like you to get a 6 in your GCSE. And that will equip you, gives you the foundations to move into A-level French. And just bear in mind that in A-level French, so really practice your GCSE now. All the stuff that you'll be doing at A-level is pretty much what you're doing at GCSE, but at a higher level. Our group sizes are quite small. which allows us to have the opportunity to do lots of small pair work and lots of group work, and I work very much individually with students. And in a normal year we would go to Nîmes, which is our school in the south of France that we have done an exchange with over many years. It's an amazing opportunity and I absolutely love it, and the students do. We have a great time when we're there. We're in host families, we're speaking lots of French. You're really growing in your confidence, you're really enjoying your time in the language and the culture that you've been learning in the classroom. It all comes to life and you understand then why French people do what they do and how they greet each other, which is what we talk about, their traditions, their music, their culture, everything that they do comes to life. The majority of our students go to university, and the majority of my language students want to go to study French or Spanish, or even a new language. I've had students that go off to study Chinese, I've had students that go off and do Arabic, but they may just do the language that we're studying in class. But there are lots of opportunities at university, and lots of students do combined honours courses where they might do French with international relations. One of my students, two of my students that have just left this year are both doing law. One's doing law with French and one's doing just law. One of my students has gone off this year to Spain. He's gone to Barcelona to do a dance degree. He is a fantastic dancer, but he's also a fantastic linguist, which has enabled him to go to a completely different country, and he's learning Spanish now, but the French has enabled him to be confident enough to go to Spain and live in Spain. So he is living in Barcelona now. One or two of my students have gone to France to study, so that's an opportunity for them, and they feel the confidence. They feel confident enough to do that.
Me llamo Montserrat Castaño. My name is Montserrat Castaño, and I'm the Spanish tutor. I've been teaching for a long time, for the last 20 odd years, but I've been teaching Spanish A-levels for now 8 years. You don't only learn the language, but you also learn the traditions, you also learn about the current issues in Spain. So it's the learning side of it, but also is the personal side of it, because when you learn a language, you need to leave things aside and become comfortable and confident. So learning a language, that is what is teaching you at the same time that is teaching you about the country. So as I was saying, I've been teaching for a long time, and the experience that I've got, it goes all together, because I've taught children in a primary school, I've taught teenagers in the college, and adults. And what I have found out is that everybody, the same thing has been that they have got out of that shyness. And obviously, by coming to lessons, everybody, it doesn't really matter, my students right now, that the teenagers, they shy. But they eventually, they get out of it. We do in 2 years. The first year, which is quite a transition from GCSE, and then we do the second year, which is more complex, advanced and finals, okay, that they will take them to university. Obviously, when you are in the year one, okay, you feel like you don't know what you're doing, because it's very different from GCSE. Things are not like, okay, they give you everything done and you don't have to think much about it, or just, you know, everything is nearly planned for you. In the A-levels, Spanish, you need to really work your way, because one of the different things about GCSE and A-levels is that you don't memorize as much as you do in the GCSE. So then it's it is a big change, and people feel very stressed about it. But after some weeks, first weeks are the ones that you just need to get used to it, but then after the first weeks you just get on the roll, and that is what we do. Here in the college, I mean, I'm teaching the first year and the second year as well, and obviously in the first year and in the second year you have got your lessons, and then you have got your extra lessons as well, if you want to call it, right? So you sort of you've got your 4 lessons a week, and then on top of that you have got Spanish speaking practice with me, okay? And then we just basically practice orally. In the lessons you can also practice orally, but when you do a one-to-one with me, or a little group like 2-3 people with me, then it's more dense, it's more accurate in a way. I can pin more. Although my lesson, I mean, my groups are not massively numbered, okay? So I don't really have massive groups with 30 people in a class. So we have got, in Spanish, we have got smaller groups. To have a smaller class, it helps the students to know each other, and also to have more attention from the teacher if necessary. When we go to year 2, instead of doing with other 2, maybe you can be 3 people or 2 people with me. When you go to year 2, it's only you and me. So there's 15 minutes with me, and we just work on your project, because it's the project that you have to do as for your finals. So it's more, you need more preparation, a one-to-one preparation. You will learn not only the grammar, which is, I don't know whether to say that, but I mean, it's my favorite. I love grammar. So I think as well that grammar is good for you, because if you don't use the grammar, if you cannot use the grammar, then you cannot speak, you cannot write. So you need to have the grammar as well as the fluency to speak and the fluency to read, in a way, in my opinion. And then that is what I try to just do with my students. I want them to do a variety of skills. So there's listening, there's reading, there's writing, there's speaking, translation as well, translation Spanish to English, English to Spanish. To enroll to Spanish, you need to have, it used to be a B, but now it's a 7. So you need to have that grade to be accepted in the course. Obviously, through the course, as I said, we do the speaking practice, but also, obviously, we do lots of tests. That is not the best thing to talk about, but they need to be done. So we do, in Spanish, I do little mini tests very continuously. So it keeps you revising continuously. So I do mini tests, I call them. But we always we've tried to do a trip to Seville, where we spend how long? Just 4 or 5 days, and then we go around Seville, and the students then can practice going to the shops, perhaps, and you're having a bit of contact and listening to real Spanish people, not just the listenings, okay? Although in lessons, I speak Spanish to them, and I speak Spanish like I would speak in normal situations.